Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I love getting your day started off on the right foot. With a morning like today, I don't know if I could compare to anything going on out there because it's absolutely beautiful. If that doesn't get you going, well, I got a little something to think about, at least, to help get your day started off on the right foot. It's just beautiful out there. Oh my. In the 60s as well. Let's just roll the windows down, enjoy the drive in. And here, think about this. I came across this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said this: people only see what they are prepared to see. Ooh, let that one sink in. I want to read it one more time. People only see what they are prepared to see. The more I think about this, the more I realize that gut reaction that we usually feel when we see something, that initial idea of what's going on, is often so flawed because there's so much going on in the background, behind the scenes, that brought that situation right to that moment that you're witnessing. You're just seeing a flash frame of what's happening. That's why it's so easy for us to judge or to feel a certain way about that situation. We're really bad to lump people into the same category. You see a homeless person and you think, oh, poor life choices. Yeah, probably a bad person. Got to be somebody who does drugs. Isn't that crazy? We become kind of jaded. We forget to kind of look underneath the surface and find out, hey, what's going on with that person? What would happen if I actually had a conversation with them? And then you're blown away because they're not asking you for money. They just enjoy the conversation. Yeah, I know. I think we've all been guilty of that one. But then you find out, hey, this is a pretty cool individual. They seem to really have their head on straight, And then you find out the reason why they appear homeless is because of this that happened to them or because of that. And I can tell you, my time in TV news really taught me not to judge a book by its cover, because it was my job to get in there, investigate, and find out what's going on behind the scenes. So I want to encourage you to do that today. Don't have that initial, don't let that initial reaction, that initial idea that you have about a situation that you stumble across, don't let that completely color the way that you're going to handle that situation, because you need to find out a little bit more. Have that conversation. Kind of take a look at it from all aspects, because it is so easy for us to judge. But if we would just give a little understanding, if we would just take a little time, we might really, be able to appreciate the situation, be able to offer our help, and feel like, hey, we need to help this person. Because if you just lump them in the same category as anybody else who you've ever noticed in that situation, likely you're not going to help them. What's going to happen? You're probably just going to pass on by. So let's give a little time today. I know it's our most valuable commodity, but if we give a little time to the people around us, even those complete strangers, and we notice what's going on, I think maybe God will use us to speak into their situation. Maybe he'll use them to speak into ours. So many times I think we're missing out on our blessing because we brush people off. We just pass by. We don't give them the time that we should really give them. So think about that today and see how you can apply it to your life. I'm going to try the same, okay? All right. Thanks for being here. I got Unspoken with Love is Everything right here, right now.
It's easy to say what I think, but it's harder to listen. It's easy to stand on the side and avoid all the trenches.
Do you have a to-do list? Who am I kidding? Everybody has a to-do list, but are there some items on there you kind of been putting off a little bit? Yep, it's like they just never quite get done. Well, I came across some advice to help you actually finish those things off, get them off the list, and feel accomplished. I know you've been putting it off, been dreading it, but stick around and we'll talk about how to handle those items.
This looks impossible, but you're the God of impossible. And I've seen your faithfulness all over my life.
Making choices. We do it every day, right? It's how we live our lives. You make the next best decision and you hope for a better result than what you had yesterday. And you keep progressing. You keep getting better and better. And you know what? We're all on that journey. But sometimes at work, people realize that you have a knack with this. You make really good decisions. And so they take you from just being a normal employee to putting you into a management position. Yeah, and then sometimes it's not just you're managing the people in one particular part of your organization, but rather you got a whole branch of people. Or maybe they say, hey, you're really good at this. We want you to take over the region. Now, how cool is that, right? But you see, making those decisions, lots of times, can be tough, especially when there are so many responsibilities, so many things to think about, and you've got all kinds of things going on at one time. You're trying to spin all the plates, right? Try to keep every plate in the air without letting it fall and break. But sometimes there are those little tasks, those little decisions that you need to make that you kind of put on the back burner. And then you get to thinking, can I delegate this so I don't have to mess with it? Can I hand this off to somebody else? And the more you think about it, it's like, no, that's something I really should do. And then it just gets deferred, right? It keeps ending up on the back burner because you got other pressing matters. It's like, yeah, I'll get to that later. I just don't have time for it right now. And before you know it, a month has gone by and it's still just hanging out on the back burner. And it's not smelling good at all. It's like burning. You got to do something about this situation. And you think, well, maybe I just forget about it. But no, you can't forget about something like that. You got to take care of it, right? Yeah. So I came across some advice on how to help us with our own head game, how to look at this situation to really put some importance on it, to get it off the back burner and just go ahead and get it done. So here's the advice that I found. See if it speaks to you like it spoke to me.
Help people try to maybe move that stuff to a little bit of energy is start looking at those items on your list on if you do it, who does that impact? And if you don't do it and you put it off, how is that negatively impacting somebody else? Because I promise you, everything on that list matters to someone else. There's a domino effect.
And that's what you have to remember. It's not just you that's going to benefit from that thing getting done. It's not just you that's going to be hurt by not getting that thing done. It's affecting a whole lot of other people. The domino effect. So remember that today. I don't know about you, but sometimes I can be in my head about something. I can really be down in the dumps even. I could be having a terrible day. But there's something about being around somebody else, just having a conversation, talking with them. It's like my mind gets off of my problems and I'm able to kind of breathe a little bit. Well, just remember that your decisions, they're affecting other people. And when you put them and their importance at the forefront, you're like, hey, let's go ahead. Let's take care of this thing on the back burner. Let's go ahead, bring it up to the front. Let's get it done so that everybody can benefit from it. So think of it from that perspective. When you get it done, it is going to do everybody good. And it's going to get noticed at the same time. So get the stuff off the back burner. Stephen, get the stuff off the back. Okay, I'll do it too. Because some stuff hangs out back there, right? So, hey, we're doing this thing together. I'm so glad that you're here with me because there's strength in numbers, right? I got some more great music for us. Here's Cody Carnes. What freedom feels like when that thing is finally done. Yes.
Sunrise, you brought the sun into my dark night.
64 degrees right now in Boaz, 65 in Arab, 67 in Huntsville. I was thinking for sure I'd see a big 7-0 on my map, but nope. The closest we're getting is 69 degrees. That's right here in Guntersville. Golden sunshine. Oh, it's just gorgeous out there. I was able to ride in with the windows down this morning. I mean, those 60s are just delightful. Not that sweltering heat that we're used to. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Your word of life today, well, it comes to you from 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. For the Lord is the Spirit, and wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Oh, I'm so thankful for that. Have you experienced that freedom? When you feel His presence, you're like, hey, I'm good. He's got this under control. Yeah, there's nothing like it in the world. You know what? You need to share that with somebody. Tell them what it means to you. We've got that word of life ready for you to do just that across all of our socials and at the top of our website. That's 885jfm.com. And our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X or Twitter, and TikTok. I'd like to say a big good morning to the Right Reverend Larry Walls. He's already been texting me this morning. He woke the chickens up, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise.
Checking out the streaming map, I can see you listening to us over in Scottsboro around Goose Pond Colony. Thank you for being here. Plus, we got some listeners down in Birmingham. Hey, you know what? I would love to hear from you. Could you text me your name, where you're listening from, and your favorite song? Maybe I could play it for you. Like I'm playing the Right Reverend Larry Walls request right now. It's Kane with The Commission. The number to text is 256-967-0885. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for being here. Now enjoy this song.
See my hands and look at my feet. It's okay if it's hard to believe. I have faith that you will do greater things. It's my time to go, but before I leave, go tell the world about me.
Talking about the reasons why we don't do the things we know we need to do. We've already talked about putting the stuff on the back burner, trying to defer it, trying to delete it, trying to delegate it. But sometimes you just got to get it done. But still, it is a head game. So let's talk a little bit about why we just can't seem to do the thing, okay? With a little help right after Sidewalk Prophets. And I believe it now.
I couldn't see it then, but I believe it now. Just a searching soul, tired of reaching out. Stuck on the tracks, train bearing down. Screaming from my lungs, who will save me now?
Here's an uncomfortable truth. And the reason why you're feeling so stuck when it comes to action. It's because you know deep down action will inevitably lead to change. It's not the action that you're intimidated by, it is the change that will follow the action. So spend some time breaking down what about the fruits of your action you're feeling the most intimidated by and how to work through them.
Wow, I've never really thought of it from that perspective before. Have you? Because maybe it is the change that you're just kind of holding off. You know that if you do that thing, that things are definitely going to change. But how are they going to change? Going to change for the better? Process that and see if maybe that's the reason why you've got that thing stuck on the back burner. Yeah, earlier I mentioned that maybe if not doing it for you, do it for somebody else. But no, sometimes you do have to do it for yourself. And the change that comes, I've realized this, it can be uncomfortable, but it generally leads to a better version of myself. So I hope that helps today. And that was Sam, the therapist, over on the socials. And, you know, a lot of people got a lot from what she had to say. One person, Jack, was saying how, feeling attacked right now. Thanks for the helpful encouragement. Sometimes these little bits of advice, these little nuggets of wisdom, they are a little offensive because it's like, why didn't I think of it like that before? But no, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Yeah, there's change that's going to come. But is the change going to make you better? Well, if so, do the thing. I know, you could stop putting it off now, okay? Besides, you're not alone. You don't have to shoulder it all by yourself. God's with you every step of the way. He puts some pretty amazing people around you, too, that can be your support system. So rely on them as well. Here's CeCe Winans with That's My King right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM.
I wish I could tell you, wish I could describe it, but I can't contain it, can't keep it to myself.
We are far from that heat index of 104 right now. It's feeling fabulous out there. Sunshine, blue sky, 66 degrees in Boaz and an Arab. But I was wondering if we might have a big 7-0 on our map Let's see. Scottsboro is 67, Albertville 67, Coleman is 69. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Bluntsville and Gunnersville are both, kissing that 70-degree mark. It's delicious outside. It really is. Embracing what makes us unique here in the South. We love doing this around 7 o'clock every day, and Marianne from New York is going to be joining us and telling us a little bit about what she loves about living here in the South now. Of course, that's after Phil Wickham and Battle Belongs right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. While I've never actually watched the movie, every time I think of New York, I think of this one movie scene.
I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
Yeah, Marianne, well, she lived that truth. That's where she's from. But nowadays, you can find her right here in the South. And you know what? She's a pretty happy camper about that. In fact, there are some things that she loves. She's made a little mini-series out of them over on her socials, and we share them with you here around 7 o'clock whenever she puts out a new one. And, she's really loving these phrases that she hears, especially bless your heart. Oh, and she knows you got to be careful with that one because sometimes that one's sweet and sometimes it's downright mean. But how about today? What is she thankful for today about living here in the South? Well, let's hear from her now. Again, this is Marianne.
I'm a former New Yorker living in the South for the past 4 years, and I'm sharing with you things that I love that Southerners say and do. Part 7. I'm sharing some more of my favorite words and terms that Southerners use, starting with barbecue. In the South, you wouldn't be invited over for a barbecue because barbecue is a type of food. You'd say, come over, we're gonna grill. Or we're having a cookout. And if you need supplies for that cookout, you're headed to the grocery store, not the supermarket. And you're putting that supplies in your buggy, not your wagon or your shopping cart. In the South, a car accident is referred to as a wreck. Like avoid Highway 1, there's a bad wreck. Good bit usually means the amount of something. Like if you were to ask, did he finish his dinner? The response could be, he ate a good bit, meaning most of it, a good enough amount. I just love when I hear a Southerner say, that hurts my heart, or that hurts my mama heart. Definitely use it all the time. Now, to gauge whether you're a Southerner or Northerner watching this video, finish this phrase for me. You get what you get, and
you don't pitch a fit. Yeah, that's how I finish it. How about you? I think Marianne's a pretty cool ambassador for us here in the South, trying to tell all those people up north how we function and what she loves about being here. Who knows? We might have some more of those people come down here and they can understand what it is to be Southern. We just got away with hospitality and food. And don't get me started on the food because I'm going to get hungry. Here's Jeremy Camp with These Days right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
These days my heart's always on the run. These days the world's spinning out of control.
It was a bit of an emergency. Not like an emergency people would normally call 911 for, but you see, this mom was absolutely desperate and she needed some help. So she did call the police. But what this officer did is going to warm your heart. Stick around, I'll tell you the whole story coming up after Chris Tomlin. To protect and serve, that's what our officers do every single day. Everybody likes to focus on the protect thing, but a lot of people look over the serve thing. And I want to tell you about what one officer did. He really came to the rescue of a mom. Yeah, her baby, so small. We're talking about an infant. Just had this little one home for about a week, and she was having a bit of an emergency. You see, she noticed that she just couldn't produce any more milk. She had no formula. It was late at night, so what did she do? She called the police. She called to see if anybody could help. And one officer really stepped up. Yeah, he went to the local grocery store, but it was before opening hours. So the doors were locked. The officer was there at the front glass doors, had his flashlight, flashing it inside. He knew somebody was in there. And so he tried to get somebody to come to the door. And sure enough, yep, somebody came. And here's how it all went down.
You may not
one mighty bright light
I
out
know,
there.
you may not be able to help me. There is a mom who she said her milk dried up and she can't find anywhere to buy formula. Is there anybody in here can turn on a cash register?
I believe so.
Okay, because I'll buy it for her and take it to her. I'm just trying to... Is there a time? Infant formula. This is it. I just need formula. Yeah, she said she just doesn't have any formula and her breast milk is dried up. So her baby's a week old. Yeah. Good thinking.
What a guy. Actually going in, getting the formula, paying for it himself. And you heard the shop employee there say, hey, does she have a bottle? So he went and got a couple bottles too. They were able to get that mama through and get the formula that she needed. Wow. His name is Corporal Hunter Willoughby of the Miami Township Police Department. And that was 3 o'clock in the morning. Talk about serving. That is just an awesome story. I had to share it with you. You know, things like this happen all the time. Unfortunately, we just don't hear about them most of the time. But whenever we do, I'll be sure to bring it to you because we need to hear about the good stuff going on in this world because there's plenty of bad news out there, right? So if you see a police officer today, maybe give them a little extra high five, pat on the back, a job well done. Appreciate them today because every time they put on that uniform, they're putting themselves in harm's way and they're putting themselves out there to serve others. Wow. It's a little bit of both of the extremes, isn't it? There's some pretty special people. If you're listening this morning and you're an officer, a first responder, thank you for what you do. You make a difference in this world every single day. And I'm thankful for you. Here's Katie Nicole with Naomi Rain. And my God can. And sometimes he uses an officer to do it. That's awesome.
I know someone who knows what I'm up against. I know someone who's here in the midst of it.
This is Pastor Gary Kraft with your Drive Time Devotion. I remember coming home from work when my children were very little. What a memory. They would run, screaming my name and grab hold of my legs like they'd won a prize or something. That memory still makes me smile when I think about it. Unfortunately, they outgrew that reaction to my daily arrival way too soon. As we grow older, some things become so common that we can lose appreciation. If we aren't careful, our Heavenly Father can become one of those things. The psalmist said it over and over again, wait on the Lord. That was his way of urging us to eagerly anticipate and prepare for God to show up and make a difference in our lives. And of course, the psalmist also urged us to celebrate God when He has touched our lives and when He seems absent. Maybe we should get over ourselves a little bit and respond to God like little children. Sing, dance, clap, shout, and even jump up and down because Daddy is home. Let's celebrate, grab hold of His presence by faith, and realize He will be smiling. Let's pray. Father, help me to dare believe that You are entering into my life and all the places that so badly need Your engagement, and help me celebrate with joy before I see any evidence. In Christ's name, amen.
Have you experienced them yet? Yeah, they're like everywhere. They're swarming right now, especially around Gunnersville. Let's talk about it next. It was the strangest thing ever, pulling up to the camper yesterday and seeing all these bugs. So what's happening is this week we are camping out at Little Mountain Marina, just past the state park, right? And so it's been a blast. We've been able to get out on the lake, enjoy nature, and we're there all week long. And, you know, the day before, everything was fine, normal. But yesterday when I pulled up to the camper, all these bugs were everywhere. The mayflies have emerged, and those suckers are swarming everywhere. Everywhere. I took my little girl to the playground there at the park yesterday, and guess what? They were all over every structure, and they're not shy. They'll get on you. They'll land on you. They landed on my on my beard. They landed on my glasses. They landed on my arms and my legs. But the cool thing is mayflies are not harmful. They don't bite. They don't sting. So you're good. And guess what? These adult mayflies, they don't even eat. So they're not really causing a problem. In fact, did you know how long mayflies actually live? So they can live to up to a year. But that's kind of deceiving because what you're seeing when they swarm are the adult mayflies. And those last maybe 2 days. That's it. Isn't that crazy? Now, in their larval stage, they can last for like up to a year. But once they become adults, they don't feed at all. They don't eat a thing, but they swarm. It's so funny because last night we're sitting there and sitting on the tailgate, and I'm talking to my little girl, and she's asking me, what's going on up there? Why are those things swarming so much? And I said, well, it's kind of like this, darling. They're kind of up there. They're kind of dancing around. They're kind of hovering. They're thinking, ooh, you want to cuddle? I want to cuddle. Do you want to cuddle? Come on. You want to cuddle? And asking each other, hey, do you want to cuddle? Until finally they're like, yes, I want to cuddle. Oh, you want to cuddle? Okay, let's go cuddle. Because that's what they do. They get into this adult stage. They cuddle for a little while, and then they're gone. But they are an amazing source of nutrients for fish and other animals out there. So there you go. A little bit about the mayfly you might not have known. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? They're kind of annoying, but they're only here for a short time. So I think I can handle them for a day or two. After that, nope, they gotta go. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, if we could do something about all this grass out in Lake Gunnersville that gets all over the boat trailer when we pull that thing out, I would be happy about it. Can we do something about that, please? Here's Elevation Worship with the #1 song in the nation for 5 weeks in a row? It's called Praise right here on the Lifeline on your 88.5 JFM.
I praise in the valley, then praise on the mountain. I praise when I'm sure, and praise when I'm doubting.
Just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm getting ready for a Riddle Me This coming up at the top of the hour. Your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the water park of your choice. We're talking about Point Mallard, Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure, or Lake Winnie. Coming up at 8 o'clock. So be listening for your chance to Riddle Me This. Sound good? All right. I can't wait. Well, sometimes I do a little research here in the studio. While the music's playing, I'm here and I'm thinking up some things. I'm like, hey, I wonder about this. I wonder about that. Because I do have the world at my fingertips with this computer here. And you see, I've noticed Reno County, Kansas has been hanging out with us this morning. I got to thinking, Reno County, Kansas. Now, how far is Reno County from Wichita? And Wichita is about 52 minutes away, right? But Wichita, I think, holds a special place in Crowder's heart. At least that's how he starts off this track. It's Prove It, featuring KB right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
Kick her off, Wichita.
There is calm, there is storm.
Hey, I've got to mention this. You just never know who you're going to bump into around here. I had gone up to Bubba-Ritos in Gunnersville yesterday to grab some lunch, right? And I'm there, I'm getting it to go, and I get done at the register, and I kind of look at the people that were sitting there eating before I leave, just in case I might recognize somebody. And sure enough, here were two ladies sitting at a table just chatting with one another, and I knew one of them, I could see her face. The other one, I just saw the back of her head. I didn't know who it was, right? So I find out that's Beth Nakala. Beth is awesome. You know what? Beth used to be on the radio right here. She used to host the show. And so she was sitting there, and guess who she was talking to? April Williams, my old co-host from here on the show. They were both sitting there having a chat. And so I had to stop and say hi. We got to catch up, had a great conversation, and I'm so thankful for that. You just never know who you're going to bump into. I'm glad I had a little extra time just to sit down and chat for a while. Sometimes that just does your heart good. Yeah. So, hey, open yourself up to that kind of experience. Yeah. Be a little more cognizant of who's around you. Keep those eyes and ears open. You never know when a little moment like that might happen. And it just does your heart good. I just had to talk about it. So, ladies, thank you for the conversation yesterday. I so enjoyed bumping into you, and we'll talk soon. All right, more great music headed your way. I got Benjamin William Hastings with That's the Thing About Praise.
When the rain you want is a flood instead, and the roses bloom, but they're not quite red.
It's 8 o'clock. You know what that means, right? It's time to give you a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to a water park of your choice. If you could riddle me this, what is more useful when it is broken? Be the first caller to 256-505-0885 and let me know the right answer. And guess what? You're going to win. Now keep in mind that you cannot win more than once this season because we're trying to share the love with as many people as possible. Y'all are quick. There's my caller. Stay right there on the phone line with me while I start this next song and I'll get your answer. We'll see if we can get you that family 4-pack of tickets. Here's Mercy Me with Always Only Jesus. I've just got to tell you, in case you didn't know already, my job is so much fun because I get to hang out with you and y'all are awesome. And I love the interaction that we have. Since I started this texting app, it has been a game changer as far as feeling like we are actually connecting. It's not just me in a studio playing music, hoping you're there. It's me knowing that you're there and then developing a friendship and relationships here over text and getting to play your requests and getting to know more about you. I love that. And so something happens every now and then. People will call in and say, hey, I want to dedicate a song to somebody. Sometimes it's a husband to his wife. Oh, it's special, right? But this time, it's some brotherly love. Yeah. Richard Udi reached out and said, Stephen, I want to dedicate a song to you. Oh, he said, how about some Good God Almighty by Crowder? Oh, man, that is awesome. Knocked my socks off, sir. Thank you so much for dedicating that song to me. I love it. It's a good one. And here it is.
Good God Almighty, I hope you'll find me praising your name no matter what comes.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
What's your name?
How are you?
I'm doing
Stephanie.
good. All right, Stephanie. So what you up to today?
Fixing to go to work.
And fixing to try to win some water park passes.
Yes.
Where do you work at, Stephanie?
I work at Walmart.
Oh, cool. Which one? Gunnersville, Arab, Boaz?
Arab.
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 Oh, okay, that's the one I come to all the time. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Do you think you know the answer to this riddle? What is more useful when it is broken?
I was going to say an egg.
I'm going to say you're correct. Congratulations.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Wow, quick on it today. Now, here's the big question. Which family 4-pack would you like? Would you like it to Point Mallard and Decatur, Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure down in Bessemer, or would you like it to Lake Winnie over in Georgia?
I guess Decatur. That's closest.
It
right?
is. It is, and it's a whole lot of fun. They got a wave pool. They got all kinds of slides, and you're going to have a blast. So, yep, I'll get those 4 sent your way. Sound good?
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Hey, one more question for you, Stephanie, before I let you go. Why do you listen to us?
It always makes me feel better than when I don't.
Wow.
If I have it on, I love country. I love all music.
Yeah.
But it just, I know when I usually leave it on 88.5 unless my kid is in the car. But, if he plays his own stuff that I've never even heard before. But I love 88.5 is just my comfort zone.
Well, thank you so much for listening, Stephanie. I'll get these Point Mallard passes sent your way, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day at work.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. There you go, Stephanie. And just like that, 4 passes to Point Mallard out the door. Going to have some fun. Going to stay cool. Oh, I forgot to mention they have that lazy river out there, too. It's the newest addition. It's pretty cool stuff. All right. Well, she was talking about the answer to that riddle is an egg. What is more useful when it's broken? And I got to thinking about that. When you break an egg, either you have a delicious breakfast or you got a brand new chicken, right? And that can lead to some tasty things as well. But anyway, speaking of broken eggs, yesterday, for the first time ever, we got out on the water, but we actually docked up to City Harbor and got out and went and kind of looked at the shops, saw all that they had to offer, went and sat on the swings, had a good time with our good friends, Zach and Dana. And it was just a blast. Even played some cornhole. Couldn't beat it. So it was right there beside another Broken Egg. Of course, they were closed at that time of the day because it was like the evening time. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. A lot of adventures to be had out here. I don't know, when's the last time you got out on the lake? Maybe it's calling your name. Maybe you need to take your rod and reel and go fishing sometime. Or, boat rentals. They are a lot of fun, especially you get one of those jet skis. Oh, my. My little girl has really been loving the wakeboard here lately. And she's doing really good with it, too. So, hey, whatever you do out there on Lake Guntersville, have a blast. Have some fun and make some memories, okay? And thanks for being here to make some memories with me as I play you some amazing music. And don't worry, we'll have your chance to win that family 4-pack of water park passes tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Thanks for the sunrise. Thanks for the night sky. Thanks for the deepest blue in my daughter's eye.
Do numbers mean a lot to you? They do to me. I notice a few little things, some patterns, some different things that involve numbers in my life. And I want to share that with you after the weather and word of life. And I want to ask you about how it affects your life as well. If you notice these little patterns and these little, you could almost say coincidences about numbers and how they play a big role in your life. Yeah, stick around. I'll tell you my story. And then I want you to tell me yours, okay? I've noticed how numbers play a significant role in my life. They've always meant a lot to me. I see their significance in so many different things. For instance, my first license plate that I ever got, 52HJ066. Yep, I still remember it like it was yesterday. They just stick in my head, right? But there's significance in the HJ in the middle of that license plate. Why? Well, because my grandparents are the ones who gave me that first car. It was an Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais 4-door red. Oh my, it was a sporty little car. Even had a little spoiler on the back. It was nice. And their names, my grandparents, Helen and Gerald. So HJ stood for them right there in the middle of my license plate. I didn't plan it that way. It just happened that way. I remember my debit card number, like, to this day. I don't have to whip out the debit card when I'm ordering something over the phone or even online. I just whip it out there, right? Easy for me. How about your childhood phone number? Do you remember that? I do. The number's not in operation anymore, but I still remember it. And the one to my grandma's house as well. It's kind of funny. Oh, and here's something else. So when it comes to me and my wife, we are the inverse of each other when it comes to our birthdays, because my birthday is 9/1 of 82. Hers is 1/9 of 83. How cool is that? Yeah? And here's something that just completely blew my mind. This really got me. So when Cassie and I were on our honeymoon, we were staying at the Marriott Grand Vista Resort in Orlando, right? And my aunt, oh, thank you, Aunt Gina, for that gift. That was her gift to us, the place to stay. But the place that we stayed, well, the number on the door was 3131. Okay, so 3131. You think, okay, just a room number. No, more than that. You know why? Because I had put in for a job at Channel 31 in Huntsville. And getting that room number was almost a confirmation to me that, hey, Steven, you're going to get the job. And guess what happened when I got back? I got the job. It was so cool. So I wonder, have numbers played a big role in your life? You've got a story to tell me? I want to hear it from you. If you want to call me, I'd love to talk. 256-505-0885. I'd like to hear straight from you. Or if you'd rather text, I understand. The number to text is 256-967-0885. I look forward to hearing from you either way. It's just funny how all this stuff works out. And I don't think anything is by happenstance or coincidence. I think it's all orchestrated from above. And you know what? It's just fun to see the pattern. And it's fun to be able to pick it out and realize its value. So, hey, stay aware.
Third grade, I drew my dreams on a blank page. My own silver screen painted sun, never rain, and love without pain.
I want to give a big shout out to Miss Dee Dee Blessing, who's listening to us right now. And guess what? She wants to hear a song. And I bet you can guess which one. She loves Kaleidoscope Jesus. So here you go. Dee Dee, thank you so much for reaching out. I love hearing from you. Hey, I'd love to hear from you too. Send me a request, 256-967-0885. Text me.
You go out of your way to make me feel like I'm the one you love.
Dee Dee Blessing reached out and said she wanted to hear Kaleidoscope Jesus by Lauren Daigle. And you know what? Wheezy was listening up in Michigan and said, hey, Dee Dee, thank you for that request. And mine is Ego by Lauren Daigle. So I'm going to play that one for Wheezy. Thank you so much for hanging out. And hey, keep those requests coming. Text me at 256-967-0885. Let me know your name, where you're listening from, and that request. Maybe I can get it here on the air and shout you out properly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Stuck inside the game, all just trying to find a place for the stories we share, a picture perfect in every frame.
Jimmy Lee Udi texted me and said, my name is Jimmy Lee Udi. I got Jesus. To which I responded, me too. But I know he was requesting a song. Here's Ben Fuller, If I Got Jesus. You can text me too, 256-967-0885. Here you go, Jimmy.
I've had $1 to my name. I've had friends that walked away. And I've even lost myself a time or two.
This one goes out to Liz Udi. She said, can you play Gyra, the rap version? Well, yeah, I could do that for you. I'd be happy to. So let's get into it. Oh, hold on. This is not the right one. This is a Maverick City Music one. Hold on one second. You hear how this one starts off? Right? Okay. So let me bring you the other version of the song. It is so good. So it sounds just like that off the top, but here you go. Take a listen to this. Good morning, and welcome to This Day in History. It's a chance for us to look back on yesteryear and see how far we've come. Celebrate some people, maybe some birthdays, some milestones. Yeah, have a lot of fun with this. So, on this day in 1938, Mercury Theater on the Air debuts on American airwaves, featuring Orson Welles. The show is best remembered for its 1938 radio broadcast of The War of the Worlds, a science fiction drama about a Martian invasion in Grover's Mill, New Jersey. The program sparked panic among listeners who believed it was a real news broadcast. Oh, could you imagine what that was like? You just flip on the radio and hear about Martians, aliens, and an invasion. Ooh, panic. Wow. But yeah, it was just a production. The power of radio, right? Thank you for listening here. All right, so it's kind of slim pickings today as far as all the milestones goes, but here are some birthdays for you. On this day in 1767, John Quincy Adams was born, the 6th U.S. president. He served from 1925 to 1929. On this day in 1899, E.B. White, or Elwyn Brooks White, the American author of Stuart Little and Charlotte's Web, was born. And then, on this day in 1934, Giorgio Armani, the Italian fashion designer, was born. So there you go. That's this day in history. Now let me close the book and remind you that I believe history books are waiting to be written about what you do, about what God does through you. So, I want you to hold your head up high, keep moving forward, and just know that you bring a lot to the table. The world is better because you're in it. And you are impacting people every single day. Whether it's written about in a history book or not, it's written on their hearts. You'll be remembered. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Here's Micah Tyler and Emerson Day with People Like Us. Hey, I'm glad to be an us. How about you? I'd love to hear your request. Text me, 256-967-0885. I'd love to hear from you this morning.
If you fell on some hard times, if your long days turn to long nights, if you're drowning on the inside with every beat of your heart.
Honestly, I got to tell you, I'm getting kind of excited about what's about to happen here at 9:30. You see, we always share some content from Pastor Brian Trent. Well, I'm glad to tell you there's been a little development. There's a little local connection here that I'm getting ready to tell you about. Oh, it's so cool. So stick around. We got your weather and your word of life. And then coming up at 9:30, Pastor Brian Trent, and I'll tell you all the news, all that I found out yesterday. Yeah, stick around. You don't want to miss this. Here's Sanctus Real. My God is still the same. And some weather and word of life right after.
Just ask the waves if they are still at the mention of his name. They'll say, my God is still the same.
77 degrees in Arab right now. It's 79 in Coleman and Gunnersville, and just so happens in Scottsboro that they are, kissing that 80-degree mark. Sunshine, blue sky, absolutely gorgeous. I love hanging out with you, and I love hearing from you, and it just so happens yesterday, I heard from one of you, Chris Lawrence. Guess where he's at? Of all places, he's way out there in California. And why is he out there? Well, actually, it's because it's the summit. It's Celebrate Recovery's 2024 summit. Started on Wednesday, and it's going through tomorrow. And, he got hungry yesterday, and he stopped by a Chick-fil-A. And guess who he saw at that Chick-fil-A? Pastor Brian Trent and his wife, Amanda. He actually snapped some pictures and sent them to me. He called me and let me know what was going on. So he got to meet Brian Trent. Yeah, so how cool is that? And he found out about Pastor Brian right here on the show, where we love to share his content. You see, Pastor Brian and his wife Amanda, their family, they go by Trent Tribe over on the socials, and they're always posting amazing content. They're the pastors of Lighthouse Church in Hampton, South Carolina, and every morning we love to bring you some more content from them. It's just so good. It's encouraging. And so, hey, what does he have to say today? Well, I want to share it with you. It's all about not giving up. Take a listen.
This is why you don't need to give up. I just want to encourage you, especially my friends that are currently in recovery or have gone through recovery, for anything from substance to anxiety to codependency. This is why you can't give up. Earlier this year, a good friend and local farmer in our community come to me and he said, listen, I just planted a lot of new seed and I was hoping you would help me pray for a good harvest. And I said, of course I'll pray. But it occurred to me in that moment that the season that he would harvest in would look nothing like the season that we were currently in. The season that we were currently in wasn't favorable for a harvest for the things that he planted, but it didn't stop him from planting those seeds anyway. Well, I think we might have some church right here. See, the Word of God is like a seed that we should be planting every day in our lives. The season that you're in right now, it may not be the season that you want, but you don't stop planting those seeds, because one day you're going to reap a harvest from the seeds that you planted in the season. And that harvest season is not going to look like the season that you're currently in. I'm not going to let the addiction, the anxiety, the depression, the worry, the divorce, the financial problems stop me from planting the seed of God's Word in this season. Oh, to the world around me, I may look like a hot mess that struggles with all these things in this season, but I'm going to keep planting the seed of God's Word, because my harvest is going to bring about some changes. So don't let what happened in one season dictate what happens in the next season and stop you from the victory that God has for you. Keep planting that seed of God's Word. Love you guys.
That's good stuff right there. Hey, you can follow him just like I do over on the socials. Just type in Trent Tribe wherever you social at, or you can go to their website, TrentTribe.com. They also have a podcast. So many things out there. Just amazing stuff. And hey, keep coming here, 9:30 every weekday morning. We'll try our best to have some Brian Trent and the Trent Tribe on right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, let's get back to the music. This is a request. This goes out to my wife, Cassie. She said, hey, play me a song. I said, what do you want to hear? She said, how about Echo by Torrin Wells and Elevation Worship? Sure, I can play that for you. Here you go, babe. It's a good song. Hey, I'd love to hear from you as well. Why don't you text me, too?
When night is falling, when fear is calming, still you're calling me. Yeah, when faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength.
I found this artist over on the socials. Her name is Samantha Ebert, and she's got a song out right now called Flowers. It is so beautifully written. Listen to these lyrics and let them speak to your heart. She tells a story through this songwriting. I think you're really going to love it. Hey, I'd love to hear your request. Love to play it for you. 256-967-0885. Just text me. All right, now enjoy the song.
Well, blue skies and hillsides feel so far away. And I wrote in my notebook that I've seen better days than the ones as of late. I can't bear the weight.
I love that song and how it changes from a desperate prayer at the beginning to a grateful prayer at the end. From God, why are you keeping me here at the beginning to thank you for keeping me there at the end, because you don't see the end from the beginning, but he does, and he knows what he's doing. Oh, it's beautiful. That's Flowers by Samantha Ebert right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, how about some Caleb and John featuring a little group from down the road in Hartselle, Alabama.
I'm the child of a loving father. I'm a part of the family. His mercy is sweet like summer, and he's always welcome.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. It's been a blast. And the time has come for me to bid you adieu. But before I do, I'd like to share with you an inspiring quote. In fact, some might say it's the most inspiring quote of the day. From Ralph Waldo Emerson. People only see what they are prepared to see. Ooh, I want that to sink in, so I'm going to read it one more time, okay? People only see what they are prepared to see. How many times have you happened upon a circumstance, a situation where you saw something and you thought you knew what was going on? Little did you know you had no clue what was actually happening there. Why? Because there's always more to the story. And that's the message behind today's quote. Always dig a little deeper. Don't just assume things are as they seem, whether it looks good or whether it looks terrible. Always do some digging. Find out what's going on. How has it gotten here? And guess what? You're going to understand a whole lot better. You're going to have a better opportunity to share a little love, a little grace, a little mercy. Yeah, and totally be there and own the moment. Because otherwise, you know what? You react in the moment. Sometimes it doesn't go too well. Sometimes it's like open mouth, insert foot kind of thing. You know what I mean? So protect yourself from that and figure out what's going on before you make a judgment on it. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I look forward to hanging out with you again tomorrow from 6 to 10 right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. I'll have your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets, of course, to one of your favorite water parks. We got Point Mallard. We got Alabama Adventure and Splash Adventure. That's a water park and amusement park down in Bessemer. And we've also got Lake Winnie. They're an amusement park and a water park as well. So riddle me this coming up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Hey, remember, today's show can be found in podcast form at 10:30 this morning over on Spotify and over on Apple Podcasts. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Let's close out the show with While I Can, a request.
If today was my last day, call my mom out of the blue. Take the time to say the words I seldom do.
Hey, I just wanted to hop on here and say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really do enjoy doing this show, and I love when I hear from you as well. Now, maybe you don't listen to me live on the radio. You know what? That's okay. You can still reach out. You can email me. You can text me. Anytime you hear that call to text, go ahead and text me your request and tell me when you'll be listening sometime between 6 and 10 o'clock on a weekday morning so I can shout you out and play your request for you. I'd love to do that. Or maybe you do listen to the show and you listen to the podcast too. Thank you. Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff you could be listening to. I'm thankful that you're right here. Would you do us a favor and share us with a friend or family member? Oh, and by the way, I got to say one more thing. I am genuinely excited about Chris Lawrence finding Pastor Brian Trent out in California. They're all there for this big Celebrate Recovery Summit. And what are the chances he would bump in to Pastor Brian? It's so cool. And the pictures he sent me, oh, it was awesome. Brian and Amanda there. Plus, they had bags of little Jesus. Because remember, Brian said he was taking those little Jesuses out to California to give to some of his new friends. And just so happens, one of our friends is one of his new friends. So how cool is that? So thanks again to Chris Lawrence for reaching out. And Brian's always got amazing content. Again, you can check him out over on the socials. Just type in Trent Tribe wherever you do your socials. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me. Here, I sound like I'm wrapping up the show. It's good talking with you, and it's good to hear from you. So go ahead and answer those questions I have, or send me a text, or send me an email. It's Steven, Steven, at 885jfm.com. Thanks so much. Bye.